babaninzi andizuva zabamnandi
bazobe baninzi la
and bengafani iintloko zabo lo
bamkela iintloko zabo zobe zingafani mama ziintloko zinjalo zingafanisa
ngasa amotheli lo undipholele lo
mama basebenzisile abathetha i-english i-afrikaans
abathi ake ingcono
bangadinto
hayi makacele emsebenzini hayi makacele serious asuyidela
endikebezoengakwazi uthetha
makacele ndiyamcela hayi dada yentombi wena yentombi hayi
pregnancy, if I can put it that way. Yes. One thing I'll say about motherhood so far before I can start, Anne, is that it is okay not to be okay. You know, many a times I think we try to be strong, or kind of to appear to be strong. But I think it's okay to tap in your emotions once in a while, like you're a person, you are living. So yeah. So first of all, the video you have just watched, it has been a roller coaster of emotions, because it starts off with flowers, pregnancy, happy baby showers and all that, giving birth. But it was not all that rosy, you know, because as you can see pagla video, yabonakala wethu ba at some point I was sick and all that, in incidents a delay. So just to cut it short, soon after giving birth, I gave birth through a C-section, right? And then 2 weeks after getting into the third week, the operation, or rather the wound, reopened, right? It was such a traumatic experience because I didn't expect that. I was told I should not lift izinto heavy. I should not do any tough or vigorous exercises. I didn't do any of that, but I think in the end I was scratching a lot, and then well, I was readmitted to the hospital. Unfortunately for me, they could not sew it back, ne? Okanye by stitch it back, because they said that no, it will have a lot of complications. So I would rather stay like that and let it heal by itself. And that took about 3 months. So for that 3 months period, I had to stay with the open wound. Could not wear any underwear, or there were clothes that I was not allowed to wear because of the open wound. It was really a painful experience, but what can we say? I had to get through with the journey. And then after that, after the operation thing, I think I went to Eastern Cape. I might have told you guys that andihlali kunye nomyeni wami. So that maternity period for me, it was a time for us to bond, because we've never stayed together more than 3 weeks, you know. So having to get 3 months together was a luxury. So we took advantage of that. But I did not really calculate my steps well, because at home I had my mom, I had my sisters, like I had a lot of support in, you know, the support structure, it was very firm and tight. Now going to Eastern Cape with my husband meant that I'll be alone the whole day, because he's going back to work. So I had to readjust now to things. Mind you, I'm nursing this wound. Emotionally still not fit to be on my own, but I found myself in a situation where I had to be by myself and the baby the whole day. And unfortunately that really triggered a lot of emotion. I was frustrated, I was tired, I was emotional, you know, I was moody, because it was too much for me. I was overwhelmed, you know, to an extent that I was even depressed. I was always like absorbed with very dark thoughts, like very bad thoughts. I might not share some of them because you guys won't look at me the same way. No, I can't. But to be honest, it was hard. It was hard. Then after that, I went back home after the maternity thing is over, and then going back home, umama naye wamka, because we lost our aunt, which is sister wake, so she had to go back home and attend to that. So I was left with my dad and my brothers. Okay, nalapho I took umntana back to a preschool, and then I went back to work. I just continued with life as normal, you know. However, things went bad. My body started responding to the trauma, I can say. I was breastfeeding at the time. So into enzekayo ke xa uncancisa mos ibele lakho liligcwala ibisi ne. So if you are used to, let's say, pumping 2 liters a day, your breast is always ready to pump that 2 liter. But now the dynamics were different because I was back to work. I could not really pump that 2 liter because Umdana is at school, I'm at work, and yeah, it's a lot. To an extent that my breast, my ducts, the milk ducts, they blocked and it caused infection. It was a severe infection to an extent that I had to be hospitalized. Then to my shock at the hospital, I was told that the infection has like emotion ezinye izinto. My kidneys were not really functional and my lungs were also not coping. And then 2 days later in the hospital, I was told that I had pneumonia. Oh, what a roller coaster of emotions. I was there for a week. Now, me being there, it meant that Dada Umdana had to come back and take care of the baby, and he took care of the baby. It was a horrible experience. I really don't want to go to that part of my emotions right now, but it was really not a nice experience because I had to be separated from Umdana the whole week because I had pneumonia. He was not really allowed to come to the hospital. He only came once. Pictures. So my motherhood experience from the early stages was a bit rough. It was just a bag of something that I didn't even expect, As a new mother, I had my own expectations. Seeing my peers doing it, I was like, I can also do this, but yay, things were tough. Noted from this video is that, it is okay to need help. You are not, Castro, it's okay to say I need help. It's okay to be vulnerable, don't hold back your emotions. Sometimes allow yourself to cry. You understand? Because I felt like the reason why I ended up being depressed is because I hold back and so everything that was happening for me, I was locking it back until I feel like emotionally and mentally I could not hold back anymore, and I exploded and I was a mess. So I can say for you, be vulnerable and don't hold back your emotions. And you know what, at some point you need to tap yourself in the shoulder. You are doing your best, and I will say this to Omama Bacha: no one can do it better than you are doing. You are doing your best, and so don't judge yourself too hard. And then depression is real, Mitunana. Depression is real. I never thought I'll be one person that can be depressed because the Lindia Teta, whatever I say it out, but for some reason that's bakande with depression. So depression is real. You understand? It's not some theory or whatever. It is real and it is harmful. After the whole experience, I had to speak to someone who's a professional so that I can unleash all those emotions, so that I can get help and be better for my baby. That's the other thing. If as a mama we ignore emotionally, you will end up unconsciously being a bad mom, not realizing that you're actually a bad mom. So I had to do that for myself and also for my baby. You understand? Going on a therapy doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you are weak, but it's acknowledging that there are areas in your life that you can't really be in control of, and it's okay, And then during that phase in depression, I ended up neglecting myself. I ended up being a mess. Betunana kulula ukuba liqeliku xana ungumdlezana. Only if you allow yourself to be, because you will have a lot of excuses not to do what you're supposed to do. I can't get over because Umdana was crying the whole day. So in a way, one step in a wrong direction leads the other, makes it easier for ezinye izinto. So uzoba ngulomama ke ngokuliqeleka unemfumba yempahla unekhimbi esezantsi kwebhedi yonke lanto, because it's easier for you to justify that. So try, xa ufumana abantu bokunceda, take care of yourself. when people are busy with umntana begoyela umntana and all that, when I take time to breathe and take care of yourself, because you are still important, you know. And then ukuze ufumane uncedo, I can say you have to accept, you have to acknowledge into yokubana there is something wrong. One thing eyenza abantu baba end up besenza izinto, siyaziva izitori uba umuntu ufake umntana efrijini, it's not admitting, it's not coming into terms nento yokubana awukho right. You understand? I'm still navigating this journey. It is still difficult, but I'm much confident now. I'm in a better space, I can say. I'm much happier than I was. Enye ke into encedileyo that ndikwazi uba ndibe betterless was getting someone to ozoncedisa neni, I don't want to say neni, second mother kalanga, uyabo, because uhlala naye most of the time. Indenze ndaba at ease, not to say I am shifting my responsibility entirely to her, but I can attend meetings at peace. Ndiyakwazi ubuya laundry kalanga is done, then I can take over from other things. So you know, xana unomntu okuncedisayo ayithetha uba uyi-coconut, siyathanda thina sijajane or whatever, but it means that you are taking care of yourself and you are taking care of your baby. And also imali yakho mayikusebenzele, you know, you are working so hard, so nemali yakho mayikusebenzele. Thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate the subscribers. Thank you guys, we've grown this community so much. Bye.